breaking inputs that have come in the match between India and Pakistan, where India have won the match with 4 wickets in hand. It was a spectacular chase by Team India. They were down to 31 for 4 at a point of time, but then it was the King Kohli show all the way. Kohli had been struggling for form of late. He came out onto the pitch and he showed and gave an exemplary display of batting, something which is going to be remembered for a long time. And also, we're joined in by our sports editor Digvijay Singh, who's joining us live from this newsroom. Digvijay, this was a spectacular run chase by India. At one point of time, it looked like they were pretty much down and out. But the fighting spirit which Team India displayed in this match, which kept shifting, the momentum just kept shifting between India and Pakistan. It was an absolute cliffhanger of a contest. And in the end, it was Team India that came out on top.
You know, I'll just go with a few words which you said, cliffhanger. India-Pakistan matches are billed as the mother of all battles. It's the marquee clash. The ICC always pushes an India-Pakistan game first up. We saw it at the 2015 ICC Cricket World Cup. We saw it at the 2016 T20 World Cup. We saw it at the last T20 World Cup in the UAE as well. But of late, it's been pretty one-sided in favor of India. Last time, Pakistan won by 10 wickets, Saleh. But for this one, I can tell you, sitting in the newsroom over here trying to work with almost everyone going berserk around us was something. And that just shows that, you know, when you get a cracker of a game, these are two teams, just leave the politics aside for a moment. These are two teams who know each other in and out. They know what's at stake. They know what that pressure is all about of getting over the line. And let's first say that these two teams have produced a contest that will surely light up Diwali this side of that border. Absolutely. As you said, you know, we'll go through that match in detail, but the sheer emotions actually came down to how close it came. You know, 16 off the last over. India at one stage down and out with what? 60 needed off the last 30 balls. But, you know, the good teams, the championship winning teams always sort of find a way of winning these contests right down to, even if it goes to the wire. It was I think Babar Azam got that completely wrong at the end to go with Mohammad Nawaz, the spinner. That sort of gave the Indian batters that freedom to just go for it. There was nothing else to do at that point of time. And when you bowl full tosses in that last over, which go for 6, which become no balls, it's all over the place. And so the pressure was on the bowler, and India got home.
Absolutely indeed. But also talk us a little bit about the batting display by Virat Kohli. It was King Kohli's performance throughout the second part of the innings. He stepped up onto the pitch. India had a huge daunting task in front of it. 3 wickets had gone down, and it was Kohli who in fact took Team India. He steadied the innings. He played the tough overs, as you would put it, and then when the time came to unleash, you know, it was a spectacular display of batting on his part.
Yes, Virat Kohli is regarded all over the world as one of the best finishers of the game. But of late, as you mentioned a short while back, that we haven't seen that dominant Virat Kohli in the last couple of years, especially after the pandemic. And there were people even questioning why he should be on this team. But he got his form back over the last couple of months. And, you know, it's in these situations when a team has its backs to the wall, that's when the champion players sort of get up, seize the initiative. And that's what Virat Kohli did. He was joined by Hardik Pandya. India were 31 for 4 in 6.1 overs. So you were what, 85 balls still remaining, 119 still to get. At the end of 10 overs, India were 45. Still a long way to go. But I think that 12th over when they started going after the spinners, and that sort of gradually built momentum. And as the overs ticked over, as the run rate started, the asking rate started to sort of come down, the target came within sight, you saw the best of Kohli, and he reserved it for the last. I think India scored what, some 35, 36 odd in the last sort of 2-3 overs. And Pakistan wilted under pressure. You know, it comes down to that. Were the bowlers who put India under so much pressure at the start of the innings, they couldn't close that game out.
I think that's a crucial point that you made, and also the fact the choice of bowlers that you know the Pakistani captain of course employed towards the end of the innings, and it was perhaps the pressure on the Pakistanis that made them crumble at that crucial moment. It wasn't just the spinners, because even Shaheen Shah Afridi got hit quite a bit in the 17th over that he bowled.
Yes, and I just looking at the figures, and you know, 60 to get of the last 5, you have a spinner still having to bowl 1 over. perhaps Babar Azam and the management will now think, should we have gone with him for the 16th over and kept the other pacers back? Because it was the pacers who had put Pakistan in this position right at the start of the innings. You know, Haris Rauf was bowling excellent. Shaheen Shah Afridi is coming back from injury, but you would sort of expect him to keep things tight. And to be fair, they didn't concede 15, 16 and over. They were conceding 8 or 9 when the asking rate was about 12 or 13. I think it comes down to that last call. Who bowls that last over? That's where I think Babar Azam got it wrong. And if you look at it, Saleh, it's more difficult to hit a fast bowler. For a spinner, you're basically taking out the wicket-keeper from the equation by having him right at the back, even though a spinner is bowling at the other end. And then, you know, if the spinner starts bowling full tosses, which are called for no balls, there's a sort of a free hit which is there. And Virat Kohli on strike, really hitting it big, single-handedly taking India over the line. As they say at that stage, you know, it's an old cricket cliche to say that he was seeing the ball as big as a football. Absolutely. And especially if the ball's coming at this height, all you need to do is just connect. And remember, the MCG is the biggest ground out there in world cricket. It's a massive stadium. But he just backed himself. And I think that last call from Babar Azam, that sort of cost Pakistan the game.
Absolutely, indeed. And also the fact that, you know, Virat Kohli looked to be in absolutely sublime touch. Virtually everything that he was touching towards the end of the innings was going to the boundary. Pretty much at the, at a time when 4 overs were left in the match. Did you at a point of time think that this was in fact a match that would be very hard for Team India to win?
Well, there was a stage. I mean, at 45 for 4 after 10 overs, you think it's going to be difficult, you know. But what worked in India's favour was that there was Hardik Pandya at the crease who could really hit it big, and Virat Kohli, who, despite his form not being where it was, let's not forget, Virat Kohli is one of the greatest to have played the game. His form of late hasn't been as good as it has been, but that's not taking away from the fact that he's still one of the best players out there, Saleh. And I think they paced it very well. They paced that chase very well. There was a time when the pacers were on top, but they sort of knew how to see them off, and they kept wickets in the bag. And at the end, they had to go for it. And in the end, when you have, 60 to get of the last 5 overs, you can basically, you know, go for it, hoping that it comes off, or else you know that at that stage of time, everyone favors a Pakistan win. For India, they got it down to the last over, and under pressure, it was Pakistan who cracked.
Absolutely, indeed. The match went down virtually to the last ball. It was an absolutely cliffhanger of a contest. But also going forward into the tournament, Digvijay, you know, the Indian top order, do you think there's a bit of a concern that India needs to address them?
Well, I wouldn't think so, because all through the lead up to this match, it's been said that it's India's batting against Pakistan's bowlers. And let's be fair to the Pakistan bowlers. They put India in a spot of bother by having KL Rahul, Rohit Sharma and Surya Kumar Yadav dismissed. You know, Haris Rauf was used very well by Babar Azam. He's played a lot of cricket at the MCG. He used to play for the Australian Big Bash. He plays for the Melbourne team over there. So he knew the conditions. He played very well over there. But then in a T20 game, it's just a couple of over spell which sort of changes the match. You know, the fact that Kohli and Hardik Pandya had faith in themselves, that let's take it down till the end and let's see. I think that worked in their favour. They took it down till the end, and ultimately, you remember, go back to the great India-Pakistan games. You know, Chetan Sharma getting hit for a last ball 6 by Javed Mehta. Just take it till the end, and then it comes down to your skills against the bowler at the other end. Let's not forget, when you're bowling that final over, it's the batsman at strike and the non-strikers end, and the bowler who's under pressure as well.
Absolutely, indeed. And, you know, an India-Pakistan contest is never almost always about the skill that is on display by the players, because this match went right down to the wire. The fact that the Pakistani bowlers crumbled in the end and the Indian batters actually put out a sublime display is what took India across. But Digvijay, the question that I want to ask you is, you know, when things got really hard, the Pakistani bowlers did look like they were pretty brittle in terms of the line and length they were bowling. Is this going to be a serious concern for the Pakistani bowling?
Listen, that's something Sean Tate, who we saw in that dugout, the former Australian test pacer and who also played in a World Cup winning team, he's going to work with them, because let's not forget, let's go back to the last T20 World Cup in the UAE, and it was the Pakistan bowlers who rocked India in that match, and sort of India were never able to sort of get those runs. Towards the end, just look at it again. I'm just going back to those figures, 60 of the last 5. So it's basically you need 2 runs per ball to win, 60 of 30. And if you start getting full tosses, which is allowing the batsman to have a free swing, then you're in trouble. So So perhaps one of the reasons why India wanted to also, chase, because in these matches between India and Pakistan, it's always come down now to who wins chasing, and I think that's something which they'll have to work on. The fact is, they still had it in their hands and they let it go. What this also does for India, Saleh, is let's again go back to that T20 World Cup last year. India lost that first match to Pakistan, sort of punctured the momentum. The pressure was on India. Then they went and lost to New Zealand, and they couldn't get out of the group. When you beat Pakistan, which is one of the biggest rivals out there for you, and then it's about that sort of easing the nerves, and this campaign is underway, and everyone just sort of has that pressure release,
Right.
Let's face it, it's a World Cup, it's an India-Pakistan game.
Absolutely.
This bodes well for the Indian team going forward, that you've got that one big win under the belt, and then you build on this.
Absolutely. Now that the monkey's off the back, now that India has beaten Pakistan in this very crucial contest, how do you see the Indian team shaping up for the rest of the tournament?
Well, I think momentum is key in cricket, and I was just mentioning, what we saw at the last World Cup. Momentum is key. This is a side which has played very good cricket over the last 1 year, especially in the T20 format. Since that last T20 World Cup, they won series at will against many other teams. There was one series which they drew against South Africa. India have won a lot. So, and this is a settled lineup. Last time when you went to that last World Cup, lots of ifs and buts, but there's been that change. Rahul Dravid, the head coach, replacing Ravi Shastri at the end of the last T20 World Cup. Rohit Sharma coming in as captain. And this set of players who are now there, Hardik Pandya coming back into full fitness. He was bowling, he took 3 wickets as well. That was a big if last time. That sort of dominated the conversation. Then you have someone like a Surya Kumar Yadav, who didn't sort of had a great day today, but he's one of your best batters, and perhaps is one of the best T20 batters in world cricket at the moment. And then you add Virat Kohli getting back into form. You add the fact that that you have at the top of the order, you have Rohit Sharma, you have KL Rahul, who that over the course of a tournament will have 2 or 3 big innings. Then it's great for India. If they can manage to keep the other teams down to a manageable target, this batting on their day can pull off anything. Let's not forget, 160 is no small target, but 160 when you're 4 down for 31 becomes a humongous target. They still pull this off. So I think if India can just produce decent performances match by match and sort of just keep to the basics. Yes, there's no Jasprit Bumrah, but you play to your strengths, restrict the teams to a decent score, and then I think they'll back themselves to chase anything now.
Absolutely, indeed. Digvijay Singh Dio, thank you very much indeed for joining us and getting us all those insights of this very important and an exciting match that we all just witnessed. It's always a pleasure speaking with you. So India has beaten Pakistan with 4 wickets. It was a spectacular display of batting, and King Kohli is of course back in form, and this is looking really good for Team India, which is down under to win the World Cup there. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.